In the heart of Rome, where ancient marble and modern fashion collide, Giulia Biagioli found her calling. Picture her as a teenager wandering past the Colosseum at golden hour, a camera slung over her shoulder, eyes alight with wonder. She wasn't just dreaming of being in photographs, she was studying them, dissecting light and shadow at the Cine TV Rossellini Art High School. Long before she stepped onto the world stage as a model, Giulia was a storyteller behind the lens, a Rome girl with a head full of films and a heart full of wanderlust. Giulia's journey from those cobblestone streets to international runways and remote beaches reads like a cinematic odyssey. At 20, she dared to step in front of the camera, and the world took notice. There she was, gracing the pages of an indie fashion magazine, her words in print alongside her portraits. "I love photography," she told them. "I've been fascinated by it since childhood." Modeling, for Giulia, was never about vanity. It was art, collaboration, the chance to bring a vision to life. Even at 5'4", she proved that presence and passion matter more than height. With every shoot, she would paint a story, each pose a brushstroke, each click of the shutter capturing not just a look, but a feeling. Early in her career, when the world paused in isolation, Giulia became part of something extraordinary. In a monochrome series shot on a quiet Mediterranean island, she embodied raw sensuality and strength, bare silhouette against a sunlit window, for a photographer who wanted to reveal the timeless physicality of women. Quarantined but unbroken, Giulia's portrait from that 2020 project spoke volumes. Here was a woman unafraid to be vulnerable, to be real. It was a signature moment when she realized modeling could be a voice without words, conveying resilience through a gaze, hope through a subtle smile. As soon as the world reopened, Giulia's career bloomed like a wildflower after rain. She packed her bags and leapt into the unknown. One week, she's on a flight to New York City, joining a select photography workshop as the star model, bright lights, big dreams, and her confident stance inspiring a roomful of photographers. The next, she's in a windswept desert outside Dubai, draped in avant-garde silk, the dunes and twilight sky framing her like a scene from Lawrence of Arabia. By summer, she's wading into the turquoise waters of Zanzibar, laughing as the sun sets molten gold behind her, a brilliant contrast to the high-fashion editorial shot she's creating on that beach. Autumn finds her in Paris, strolling by the Seine in couture for a shoot, the Eiffel Tower sparkling behind her, another moment that feels stolen from a movie. And in between these journeys, she's back in Rome or Milan, collaborating with visionary designers and artists, turning sidewalks into catwalks and studios into dreamscapes. Giulia's collaborations read like an artist's travelogue. In Berlin, she became a living sculpture for an experimental fashion designer, her body adorned with hand-painted fabrics under neon light. In Switzerland's snowy St. Moritz, she brought vintage glamour to an alpine photoshoot, channeling old Hollywood against mountain peaks. She's worked with fine art photographers who praise her as a muse with a generous soul and an intuitive pose, someone who can shift from fierce to ethereal in a heartbeat. Each collaboration, be it a high-concept magazine editorial or a humble lookbook for a local boutique, has honed her craft and her philosophy. Modeling, to Giulia, is a dance of trust. She often says you must trust the photographer, the moment, and yourself. Only then can the magic seep through the lens. Beyond the flashes and far-flung locales, Giulia Biagioli the person shines just as vividly. On social media, she invites over tens of thousands of followers into her world with disarming authenticity. One day she shares a behind-the-scenes snap, barefoot on a studio floor, gown pulled around her ankles as she cracks up laughing between shots, captioned with a simple truth: living, not surviving. Those three words, living, not surviving, capture her ethos. She uses her platform to spread positivity and self-love, whether it's a candid makeup-free selfie or a clip of her twirling in a sundress on a Cancun beach. She's open about the hard days too. Jet lag, creative slumps, the pressure to constantly evolve. In one heartfelt post, Giulia wrote about overcoming self-doubt, likening her growth to a phoenix rising, each photoshoot a small rebirth, a chance to see herself in a new light. This openness has made her more than just a face or a model in the eyes of fans. She's a symbol of creative freedom and resilience. Giulia's Instagram isn't a glossy brag reel, it's a travel diary, a mood board, a love letter to art and adventure. Through it, she has built a community, inspiring others to chase their passions with the same bold sincerity. Now 26, Giulia stands at a new horizon, eyes still bright with the same wonder that carried her from Rome to here. She's garnered accolades, Covers of boutique fashion magazines, features in avant-garde art journals, shout-outs from industry icons. But she wears them lightly, like a favorite leather jacket she picked up in a vintage shop on some memorable shoot. Ever the artist, she hungers for the next creative challenge. Her aspirations stretch beyond the next photo shoot. Sometimes on long flights between continents, she jots down ideas in a worn notebook. Concepts for a photo series exploring identity, a short film blending her love of cinema and modeling, maybe even a platform for mentoring young models who, like her, don't fit the old mold but have fire in their hearts. She speaks of possibly stepping behind the camera one day more seriously, to direct scenes and shoots from the other side. Who better to capture a model's spirit than someone who's lived it herself? Giulia dreams of curating art exhibits, launching a lifestyle brand, and continuing to collaborate with creators who value art over ego and passion over profit. But even as her ambitions grow, she stays rooted in the joy of the present moment, ready to drop everything for that perfect unexpected shoot at sunrise, ready to embrace whatever inspiration tomorrow brings. Giulia Biagioli's story is far from finished. In truth, it's a story about becoming. About a woman crafting herself anew with every click of the shutter and every stamp in her passport. From the sunlit piazzas of Rome to glittering metropolises and serene shores worldwide, she has remained fearlessly herself, an artist at heart, a model in motion, and a free spirit whose canvas is life itself. As she steps forward into the next scene of her journey, you can almost see it, the lights dimming on one chapter, rising on the next, her silhouette confident against whatever backdrop awaits. And in that final frame, she turns to the camera with a knowing smile. Giulia is still that girl chasing beauty and adventure, only now she carries a piece of every city, every collaboration, every triumph and trial within her. Her narrative continues to unfold, ever evolving, ever inspiring, a living testament to the art of reinvention. This is Giulia Biagioli. Always moving, always creating, and always becoming.